Testing, testing, one, two, three.
Great, thank you. Okay, members, we're on to apologies then. I have one here from Councillor Johnson. Have we any more from the floor, please? Okay. And then online, so far we have Alderman Kennedy, Councillor Ratcliffe, Councillor McConville-Walker and Councillor Nelson. And then our declarations of interest, we're going to take them as we go. That brings us to 3.1 then, and Gillian is here if there are any questions on that one. Okay, no lights on for 3.1. That brings us then to 4.1, and Claire is going to present both of these.
Thank you very much, Chair. Members, this is a decision item and relates to a service level agreement with Sustainable NI for the 25-26 period and the associated annual payment. Sustainable Northern Ireland provides a range of technical support services to help councils and public bodies understand the scope of their legislative responsibilities on sustainable development and climate change, and to help them to comply with these obligations. Sustainable NI supplies expert advice on sustainability issues, as well as signposting to policy research and case studies in a broad range of areas. Sustainable NI provided training and further support to Council to help develop the first of our climate and sustainability action plans, as was agreed at this committee last month. It also provided practical support to the use of specialised tools and services such as our sustainability screening tool. Sustainable NI manages the Northern Ireland Sustainable Development Forum, a network of officers responsible for sustainable development and climate action in Northern Ireland. It provides critical support to councils in environmental compliance, fostering an environment in which colleagues are able to share experience and expertise. Sustainable NI also coordinates the all-party group on climate action, which provides a forum for discussion between MLAs, councillors, business leaders, NGOs and academics to drive forward the conversation on climate action in Northern Ireland. While Council attends the meetings of the all-party group on climate action and meetings with Sustainable Development Forum, we do not currently have a service level agreement with Sustainable NI. A draft service level agreement is included for your consideration. This is the same agreement which is signed by numerous other councils, as well as other public bodies such as Education Authority. Several grades of membership exist within Sustainable NI. The basic membership package costs £6,000 per annum, and the costs for this can be covered within the climate team budget. Members, it is recommended that we agree to enter the service level agreement with Sustainable NI for 25-26 and to agree the annual payment of £6,000. Thank you. Happy to take any questions.
Thank you, Claire. Members, any questions? I'm going to need a proposer and a seconder. Proposed by Councillor Alexander and seconded by Councillor O'Dowd. Thank you. Members all agreed? Okay, that brings us to 4.2, and Claire is going to take us through this one as well.
Members, this is a decision item and relates to a draft consultation response which has been compiled by officers in relation to the DAERA consultation exercise on the fourth carbon budget. DAERA has launched a public consultation to seek views on the level of the fourth carbon budget for Northern Ireland. This consultation offers Council the opportunity to provide views on DAERA's proposal to set Northern Ireland's fourth carbon budget, which covers the period 2038 to 42, at an average annual reduction of 77% below the 1990 baseline, in line with the recommendation of the UK Climate Change Committee, excluding Northern Ireland's contribution to international aviation and shipping. DAERA is required to set the fourth carbon budget at the level that is consistent with meeting the emissions reduction targets for 2040 and 2050. Officers acknowledge that this is challenging but achievable, putting Northern Ireland on the path to deliver its targets under the Act. With the first carbon budget already well underway, the Northern Ireland Executive will need to broaden and accelerate action from today through to 2030 to meet the fourth carbon budget. This consultation opened on the 28th of July and will close on the 17th of November. The consultation documents are all available on the DAERA website, and Council's draft response has been provided for your consideration. Members, you are asked to approve the draft response to the DAERA consultation on the fourth carbon budget for 2038 to 42. I'm happy to take any questions.
Thank you, Claire. I'm going to bring in Councillor McClelland.
Yes, Chair. Thank you for bringing me in, and thank you, Claire and the team, for bringing the report to us this evening. And I would have to say I very much welcome the overall tone of the paper that you have brought, Claire. You know, I'm almost tempted to say at long last there's a little bit of realism been injected into this whole thing, and you know, I suppose what I mean by that is it's in the paper that the reduction required will be an extremely high target, and the achievability of the same must be very carefully considered, and there would be a school of thought out there that would say that that is going to have to be looked at again in terms of a target. But for those couple of reasons, very much welcome the tone, and it's good that our response includes words like fairness across all sectors and so on. So, you know, certainly very happy to propose, Chair, and a good piece of work. So, thank you.
Thank you, Councillor McClelland. Members, I have a proposer. Can I get a seconder for that, please? Seconded by Councillor McCartan. Thank you. Okay, members, all agreed to move on? That brings us then to 4.3, and Claire is here to answer both 4.3 and 4.4. So any lights for 4.3 first? Okay. What about 4.4? We're happy agreed to move on. That brings us to 5.1, and Lisa is going to take us through this one, please.
Thank you, Chair, and good evening, members. This is an information item to provide you with an update on the resurfacing work scheduled for New Line Recycling Centre. Our estate team are currently procuring this resurfacing work. Will include extensive resurfacing, line marking and improvements for staff and for users. It is estimated that the site works will commence in mid-November and will be closed for a 3-week period. Planning for the closure is well underway, and this will involve extensive communications with site users. This will be via leaflets, signage and social media channels. All other recycling centres will remain open during this time, and officers are looking into including extending opening hours on these sites then as well to accommodate the additional users on site. A staffing plan is also being developed. Once exact dates are confirmed, officers will update members and start the extensive communication plans for the site users and the site works. Members are asked to note the report. Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa. I'm going to bring in Alderman Greenfield, please.
Thank you, and certainly welcome the report coming. It's something that's definitely needed as someone who's been out there quite a bit recently. I suppose I was just going to suggest that once we do know the exact thing, I know we'll put it out in lots of different forms, but a really good sign at the actual recycle centre for those using it for the next few weeks is that's the normal people that are in and out of it all the time. I know I was in the other week and I was sort of laughing at one of the signs. It's a handwritten thing on top of another sign beside another sign, and it's very, just as you go into it, there's a lot there. So it would something fairly well produced, I think, would be really, really good as you're going in over the next number of weeks, because I know I'm in and out of it quite a bit at times, and there is, as you go in, it is quite a bit of signs telling you can do this and you can do that, but some are handwritten, some are sort of there, so something fairly substantial I think would be a really good job for those that are getting out of it regularly, but certainly it's works it needed, so welcome the report. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to bring in Councillor O'Dowd, please.
Thank you, Chair. I totally agree. So do I with Councillor Greenfield. It is well needed. The only concern I would have, and I do agree, the signage needs to be a big sign because the wee small ones are doing absolutely nothing. I went to it myself the other day, and it was only when I was right, and I should have knew myself, when I was right close up at it, it was a wee small sign this size to say it was closed. It's not good enough. So a large sign there to let people know would be fantastic. And the only other thing I would have an issue with is I think there'll be a rise in fly tipping in the area, and that's a concern for me because I think we all have issues with the fly tipping. But it is well needed, and I do understand why it's being done, but that's the only thing I would have is the likes of the signage and the issue with fly tipping, just to keep it, to monitor that and to keep an eye on that. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor O'Dowd. I'm actually going to bring Lisa in maybe to give some assurances what we're going to do to mitigate that, please.
Yes, and thank you for your questions. We're working closely with our comms team as well to develop the right messaging to go out alongside of the closure, and that will include leaflets to the public well in advance of it, but also substantial signage that will be put on site and actually on other sites as well, so at least they will know that New Line are closed. And we'll continue to monitor the fly tipping in the area. Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa. I'm going to bring in Councillor Mallon, please.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Lisa, for the report. Yes, I agree too. It definitely needs resurfacing. I live across the road from the dump, and because I have a van, I'm the man that's been called to go to the dump for people, family and stuff. But will there be extra bulk lifts put on for because the dump is closed? Will there be the extra bulk lifts? What do you call it? Bulk waste lifts?
I'll bring Lisa in to answer that.
Thank you for the question again too. We are looking at the other sites, the other recycling centres, and have additional capacity on those sites, and we'll work with our contractors to make sure that they'll be able to clear those sites away quicker. We have a bulk service, and we can certainly look, if we, through this period, we'll monitor the number of requests coming through that, and again we can increase the resources put towards that bulk collection if we feel it's the issue. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Lisa. And then I'm going to bring in Councillor Nelson, who's online.
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, I share that concern around the fly tipping. I also think with running that close to Christmas, a lot of people clear out their homes in advance of Christmas, knowing that Santa might arrive with plenty of gifts and toys. So, I just would be concerned that that will increase fly tipping. So, I definitely think that we need capacity increased in our bulk collection because. For people in Lurgan, the other centres that are available, they're quite a journey away. And unfortunately, people may decide not to do that journey, and some may even then fly tip. So I would like officers to come back to us next month when we are aware of the exact timeframes with a plan on how we are going to add capacity to our bulky lift collections, please.
Thank you, Councillor Nelson, and officers will take that back then for consideration for next month. Okay, members, all happy to move on? Okay, item 6, we have no correspondence. So I'm going to take a proposer and seconder to go into committee for consideration of the confidential items of business. Proposed by Councillor O'Dowd and seconded by Councillor Alexander. Thank you. Okay, members and online viewers, in accordance with Schedule 6 of the Local Government Act, we will now be moving into a confidential session of the Council. This means that we will be turning off the public feed of the meeting. This will be returned when the meeting has restarted. Can I ask the ICT officers to please turn off the feed and confirm with me when the confidential section of the meeting can proceed? The meeting can proceed again in open session. Thank you. Okay, can I get a proposer and seconder to agree the recommendations made in committee, proposed by Councillor O'Dowd and seconded by Councillor Donnelly? I have no AOB, so members, that is the end of our meeting tonight. Safe journey home. Thank you.